This isn't something I really wanted to or like to talk about online. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello, how are we? How is everybody? Hi. Oh, this feels very weird. I also look like I've stuck my fingers in a socket, and I'll tell you for why. Because I'm actually baby free today. Grandma and Granddad have come over and I've taken little man out on a jolly into town so I can have some time to film this video and hopefully edit it as well and get it all up on the internet for you, so I can just start making a little bit of content here and there, just like slowly ease back into things, I guess. So I was like, do you know what? I'm gonna put makeup on, I'm gonna do my hair, I'm gonna look all glamorous. And then I realised that if I sat down and did all that, it would eat into my filming and editing time. So I had to stop my hair halfway and just sit down here in my bloody nursing bra and everything with me half-eaten lunchbox. Absolutely loving these, by the way. And yeah, I just thought I'd sit down and film. So we're going to do a little Q&A today. I've got all the questions that you guys have asked me on the multiple times I've put the question box out, and I'm like, I'm going to film it, I promise. And then never get round to doing it. We're going to do it today. I'm going to answer as many as I can and try not to ramble. But you know me. So I hope you got a cup of tea and you're settled down, ready to watch this. And yeah, fingers crossed. What time is it now? It's like 1:20. I'm gonna give myself maybe like half an hour to film this, and then I can edit it, and then we'll all be done. Whilst I'm eating my lunch. I do actually need to eat, I am starving. Okay, so some of these questions are from very, very early on, and some of them are from recently, which is like 4 months on. So I'll try and do a mixture of everything, and like I said, I'll try and answer as many as I can. So the first one is, how are you? Are the early days of parenthood what you expected? Take care. So cute. So how am I now? Amazing. How was I back then? Actually amazing. The first sort of bit of parenthood, the newborn bubble, like it is difficult, like really difficult, but like the bit that everyone's like, oh my God, it was hell, actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And I think that's because I just thought it was going to be the worst thing in the world, and I'd really prepared myself to hate it and to really struggle. But actually, both Chris and I said that we both really enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. It is flipping exhausting, and it is a real shock to the system. But I think because we were expecting that and like gearing ourselves up for it, we just kind of like took it in our stride. And yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I said this, me and my friend said this the other day, because we've both got babies around the same time, which is just amazing. We both said that every time we enter a new stage, so like, you know, the newborn bubble, or then like this stage now where he's starting to get more active and grabbing things and stuff, we both say every time we hit a new stage, we're like, that's my favourite stage. And then you get a new one, and you're like, no, actually, that's my favourite. And then you get a new one, and you're like, no, this is my favourite. I've loved it all of it, right from the beginning. But no, it wasn't as I expected, because I expected it to be hell. And actually, I was pleasantly surprised. What has been an unexpected joy since having little man? The unexpected joy for me is honestly how much I love being a mum. I really wasn't sure how I was going to take to it, because I don't have any experience with babies. I just don't. I don't have any brothers or sisters. Until now, I don't have any friends who've got babies. I just haven't been around babies. This is all new to me. And I think I was a little bit worried, like I said, that I was going to hate it, that I was going to be rubbish at it, that I was going to have no instincts. And the thing that surprised me the most is how much I adore being a mum, and the fact that I do have instincts, and I just enjoy it. I really love it. Even changing the nappies and washing his clothes, and just the boring, mindless sensory games and stuff. I love it all. And that has been really unexpected for me. So again, another very pleasant surprise. It's true. I think I said this in one of the pregnancy vlogs. It's true. Like, it's like jumping out of a plane and doing a skydive. You can think for your entire life that you really want to do a skydive, but you don't know until you jump out of that plane whether you're going to actually enjoy it or not, and there's no going back. So it's a really huge, really anxious decision, I guess, to have a child, and yeah, happy to say it's paid off. Doing all right. How was your hospital experience? I have done a whole video on that with talking about my C-section and my birth story, so you can definitely check that one out. So I won't go into that here because I definitely rambled in that one, but spoiler alert, it was wonderful and it was a really positive experience. So if you're looking for a positive planned C-section story or just a positive birth story, go and check out that video. There was lots of ones saying, will you ever share baby's name? Are you ever going to share his face? No, I'm not. And I did a post on Instagram, like putting all my thoughts onto paper basically about why I won't be doing this. Totally got nothing against anybody else who wants to share their children online. I enjoy following accounts that share their little ones and stuff, but that's because I'm a good person. And unfortunately, especially when you've been in this game for a long time, you know that the internet has also got a dark side. It's got a dark side with like trolls and sort of like the bitter people who are just like meh. But then there's a really dark side to the internet with some very, very dangerous people. And I think for me, when it comes to children, when it comes to my child, I do not want him anywhere near any of that. So yeah, for his personal safety, it's a no-go from me, but also from like a consent point of view. I choose to put my life online. He cannot give me that consent. He is only a little person who cannot speak. So for me, I don't think it's fair to put him onto camera or in photos or anything. You know, I feel like you can still sort of capture moments without giving away his identity, and that is something that I do and I love to share, because it's really lovely to share my experience as a mum. So yeah. The short answer to that is no, I won't, and I don't think I'm going to be changing my mind on that at all. And I know that like the most people, they just want to share in the joy, don't they? Like it's nothing sinister, but there are sinister people out there. And yeah, it's just not going to be happening to my boy. I'm a protective mama lion. No way. How did Toby find the new edition? So he's been pretty chill, to be honest. It's not been like like all the videos you see online with the golden retrievers, like bounding towards the baby and like cuddling them and everything. He hasn't been like that, which actually I'm happy with. He's just really not fussed by him at all. The only thing he doesn't like is if you blow raspberries on his tummy, not Toby, the baby. Toby hates the noise, so that's something we've learned. However, yeah, he's just really non-fussed about him. Like he'll come and lie next to him, he'll come and lie next to me when I'm feeding and stuff, but he's just not interested. And that for me is the perfect place to be. I don't want him too interested because that makes me a bit nervous. Don't want him obviously hating him because that makes me nervous. So the fact that he's just like, oh, okay, there's a new person that lives here. As long as I don't have to share my toys, I'm fine. So yeah, I think he will get very interested, however, when little man starts weaning. So we will definitely have to keep an eye on that, because Toby has stolen a sausage roll out of a child's hand before. But that's a story for another day. How have you found your Ren pump and catches? Oh my gosh, so I feel like I need to do a whole video on my breastfeeding journey, and like breastfeeding and pumping recommendations. But yeah, I have the Ren pump. I also have the LV pumps as well. And I have to say, for the money, the Ren ones are chef's kiss. I love them. I use them every single day. I'm exclusively breastfeeding. I never know the terminology of this. If we feed an occasional bottle of expressed milk, I suppose we're not exclusively breastfeeding, but he's exclusively on breast milk. I don't know. So I breastfeed the majority of the time. And then occasionally Chris will give a bottle, or I will give a bottle of expressed breast milk. So that's what I use the pumps for. And yeah, it's working really, really well. It's going really, really well. So I feel like I need to do a video on that, because I'm sure there's probably a lot of other questions about breastfeeding and stuff, but it's such a huge subject. But yeah, the Ren pump, absolutely brilliant. So if you need a short answer, yes. And the catchers, fab, especially in the first sort of like 6 weeks when your milk is still, sorting itself out. They were amazing because I had a huge oversupply. So I would just be soaking through breast pads. So I was able to use the catchers and change them out every like half an hour. I was getting loads of milk that I could just make a stash with. Great. Anyway, another video for that one. A lot of questions asking what surprised you the most, and how I'm doing. I'm doing really good. I'm doing really good. Someone said, not a question, but I think you should treat yourself to some more of those fabulous brownies. I completely agree. I have to say, is that the person who owns Bear Hut Brownies? I'm not sure. But yeah, I completely agree. I've eaten so many flipping brownies. It's unbelievable. It became my addiction towards the end of the pregnancy, and it's continued now because I'm just starving all of the time. I'm so hungry. I assume because of the breastfeeding, but yeah, I'm eating a lot of food right now, and it's great. Okay, this is an interesting one. I know you're not sharing his name, total respect, thank you. But did the name you liked feel right when you met him? Yeah, 100%. So we have like a couple of names, and I won't share the others. I don't know, I just don't want to. But we had like a couple of names, and somebody else, like someone in the family, actually used our other name before we got a chance to. It was my second choice anyway, so I wasn't bothered. But they used that name, so obviously, so then we had one choice, and we both said that like the other name that we were thinking of wouldn't have been him. Like he is the name that we chose. So yeah, 100%. He's just been that name from day one, and it's perfect. It's perfect. So everything happens for a reason, I think. Due in August, your newborn must-haves, please. Definitely will do a video on that. Hopefully, if today goes well and we make all of this work, I can make this like a weekly thing. So yes, that is going to be one of the next videos I make, is newborn products that we actually used and we actually rate. Because I found those really helpful when we were first going in stuff. But obviously everyone's different, you know, so I think it's good to gauge different people's ideas about that, I guess. Best thing about being a new mom, hardest thing you found so far with being a new mom. Okay, him being in pain. Like, he has, and anybody who's got kids will understand this, they have different kinds of cries. Like before I had him, I just thought babies cry, right? And I thought that is gonna be hard some days. I think that is gonna be really hard. It's gonna hurt my ears because babies crying is just not a pleasant sound. However, what I didn't expect was it doesn't hurt my ears, it hurts my heart. And there's definitely different cries. Like there's different cries when he's just being a bit fussy, and when he's waiting for a feed, or he's a little bit tired. And yeah, it's horrible hearing them, because you're just like, I want you to sleep. And when they're resisting it, you're just like, I just want to fix it for you, just go to sleep. So that's a little bit sad to hear them cry then, but there's a certain cry that they do when they're in pain and when they are distressed, and that physically hurts me. And I first heard this cry, well, also when I had like a little bit of trapped gas. When there's a newborn, they all tend to get it because their digestive systems aren't sort of like matured yet. So when they get a little bit of gas moving through, that can be really painful for them. So we kind of like had a taster there, but the first vaccine appointment that he had, where he got jabbed, the cry, oh my God, it traumatized me. I'm not even joking. The nurse was like, now you're gonna hear a cry that you've probably never heard before. And I was like, okay. It's the worst. So yeah, for me, that is the most surprising thing. The thing I don't like is when he's in pain or when he's distressed, it physically hurts. Not only do my boobs leak, they go start firing, it physically hurts me. Oh, it's the worst. I didn't think I'd be this soft. I thought I'd be like, I know that you're safe, so you're fine. It's awful. So yeah, that. How is breastfeeding going? First time mum to a 9-week-old. It's been the hardest thing for me. I think this is one of the questions from like the early ones, so I really hope your breastfeeding journey's got better. Again, I'll do another video on this, so I won't go into too much detail here, but I have loved breastfeeding right from the beginning, but it definitely is hard. And this is coming from somebody who did a breastfeeding course, who was like clued up to the nines about it all. And I even had a personal lactation consultant on speed dial. She's amazing. Breastfeeding with Beck on Instagram. Highly recommended. Oh my God. She does like a 2-week WhatsApp thing. I think it's like 65 quid maybe. So it's a bargain. And think of all the money that you spend on stuff for babies. That is a really worthwhile investment. But you can like just WhatsApp her videos of the latch and stuff, and she'll help you in real time. She saved me, she really did, because I struggled with an oversupply and a very forceful letdown. So little man was just like drowning, and it was really difficult to manage. And we nailed the latch straight away with Beck's help and with all the research that I'd done. We actually nailed the latch quite early on, but managing that oversupply and the letdown was tricky. It was really tricky. So there was definitely some times in that sort of like first 6 weeks where I was like saying to my friend, and we were both like, I don't know how I'm going to make it to 6 months. I've set myself a goal. I really want to make it 6 months. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Like, it's so difficult. I just want him to be full and happy, and it's just a bit awkward and a nightmare. And then now we're both like, I don't ever want to stop. I'll be really sad when we have to stop, because it does get better. For the majority of people, there are some people out there who really struggle and there's things going on, you know, but as a general rule, I feel like most people will go through the hard patch of it where you're like, oh my God, this is really hard. But if you can stick with it, and it works for you and you want to stick with it, I found it does get better. Like now I love it. I absolutely love it. Like when he's hungry, I'm just like, flop a boob out. Feed him and off we go. And with the combination of like the occasional bottle, like if I have a glass of wine on a Friday night, steady on. Like if I feed a bottle, the occasional bottle, or, you know, like for example, if mum and dad were out for longer, I would have left them with a bottle. It's handy for that. But yeah, I just love it. I just love it. It's become second nature, and I think it's beautiful. So yeah, it's going really well. But somebody gave me a really good piece of advice that I will share here. I'll also share it in the breastfeeding video. That if you feel like quitting, quit on a good day, don't quit on a bad day. And I think that's a really good piece of advice. So yeah, hang on in there if you want to. How you feed your baby is up to you. It doesn't work out for everybody. It's not as easy as they say it is. So if you're struggling, you're not alone. But yeah, personally, I'm loving it now. Although my boobs are taking over the world and they're really hard to dress, but that's for another video. Just to say, thank you for showing the first few weeks of motherhood look positive. Oh, yeah, do you know what? It's hard. It is hard, and the sleep deprivation at the start and all that kind of stuff. But overall, we've just found the journey so joyous. And I think it's important to share that as well, you know, because I think that's why I went into it thinking it was going to be hell, because everybody had told me, oh, you'll never sleep again. Oh, it's the worst thing in the world. Oh, it's really difficult. And yes, it is. And yes, I'm tired, but it's just magical. I just love it. And I think that's important to share as well, you know? Lots of people asking about the C-section and recovery and stuff. I've recovered absolutely fine. I didn't have any complications at all. Yeah, it genuinely, it surprised me. And my friend also said the same, how smooth the recovery was. And I know that's not the same for everybody, but also again, I feel like it's important to say that it can be that way as well. So if you're having one and you're nervous, very positive experience of it all here. And yeah, I'm feeling really good. I have no tummy muscles left. Let's be honest, I didn't really have any abs in the first place. I didn't particularly have a very strong core anyway, but after pregnancy and then being sliced open, I have zero tummy muscles whatsoever. So yeah, that feels a little bit strange, especially when I'm only lying on the floor playing with the baby and you try and do like a sit-up to get yourself up. I'm just like, no, that doesn't work. So I feel like at some point I probably need to do some kind of like rehabilitation on my core, mostly to help my back, I think, and support my back. My back is sore. That's the one thing, but I think that's just that being hunched over breastfeeding and hunched over, you know, like carrying baby and stuff. I'm booked in for a massage tomorrow and I cannot wait. I feel like I really need it. That was kind of like my push present from Chris, was a massage every month at this amazing like Thai place that I go to, and they do like proper Thai massage and they break you. So yeah, that's my massage tomorrow and I can't wait. It's gonna be so painful, but so good. What do you think of your Silver Cross pram? Amazing, we love it. We have the Silver Cross June, and it's really good. It's perfect for what we need. It's not gonna be right for everybody because it's a big system, and it's a city system, you know, like it's not hardcore suspension and stuff. Like it's just for pottering around town and all that kind of stuff, which is exactly what we use it for. So if you're kind of looking for that kind of thing, and it's very stylish. Yeah, we're really, really pleased with it, but maybe I could do like a full-on review of that if that would be interesting. Let me know in the comment section if there's any videos you would like to see. And yeah, I think I'll start slow and maybe try and tackle one a week, but we'll see how we get on. How do you and Chris split the nighttime routine? Okay, so I think this was from the first Q&A that I asked for. And at first, in the newborn stage, where they're just not sleeping, it's just like every 2 hours basically. And we just took shifts and we did it together, really, because he was on paternity leave for about 3 weeks. We just did it together because we found that we needed each other to keep each other awake. Because obviously you don't want to fall asleep with baby in your arms or anything and you're so tired. So we would just do it all together and keep each other awake and scroll TikTok and talk to each other and whatever. So we were just like in it together. And that really worked for us in the first sort of like 3 weeks. And then when Chris went to work, again, he would help me during the night time by doing a bottle so I could get some solid sleep. And he could get some solid sleep, I would do a feed and then put him back to sleep. I would get my solid sleep, he would do a feed and so on. And doing it like that really helped, I think, having that one bottle that Chris could do, because it just meant that you got like a good chunk of sleep. And I was either in our bed and just zonked or in the spare room. So really good idea to keep hold of that spare bed until, baby boy moves into his nursery and we need to swap it out for a cot. Really useful to keep that bed and just like get some solid sleep. So that's pretty much what we did. Now he's sleeping pretty okay. We are hurtling towards the 4-month sleep progression, as I like to call it. I don't think it's fair to call it a regression because they're not going backwards, they're just learning a new way of sleeping. So yeah, ask me again in a few weeks. But at the moment he's doing really well. Like he'll go to bed maybe about 8:30, up to 10, depending on how the day's gone, because we go by week windows. So yeah, either like between 8:30 and 10, but normally around 8:30. And then he tends to sleep through now until maybe about 4 a.m. and he'll wake up for a feed and I'll feed him, pop him back down, and then he sleeps through until sort of 7-ish maybe. Sometimes he wakes up about 6 and then we settle him back down and then he'll sleep until 7. But the way we do it now is the crib is on Chris's side just because there's more room, and he prefers it there anyway. He likes to sort of like keep an eye on him, which is super cute. But yeah, when he wakes up, Chris will lift him out of the crib, hand him over to me, I'll feed him, so I'll be there for like sort of anywhere between 7 and 20 minutes depending on what we're doing. I'll give him a burp and then I'll hand him back over to Chris, who will then settle him back down, and in between that Chris will probably like have a little bit of a cat nap while I'm feeding. So yeah, we're still tag team, we're still doing it together really, but at the moment that's working really well for us. However, I feel like when we hit the progression, we might have to go back to doing shifts again to do that, but if we need to, we will, because it worked really well. So yeah, so that's really boring, but yeah, that's pretty much what we do. Anything you've bought for baby and not used, yeah, people like bought us clothes that were not seasonally appropriate. You know what I mean? Like they'll buy, maybe they bought stuff that was 3 to 6 months that he's in now, like he's wearing 3 to 6 now, but the stuff that they bought him, that because they bought it in like whenever it was, February, March time, whatever, in the winter basically, they're wintry clothes, but he's only just into them now, and obviously it's really hot, so we can't wear them. So that would be my top tip, is to think forward. If you're buying things for other people or if you're buying things for yourself, think about what the weather's going to be like at the time they're wearing that particular size. Top tip. Something I didn't really think about either. I've struggled a lot with PPD, postpartum depression and anxiety. How are you feeling? I feel okay. I feel good. I definitely had the baby blues about sort of weeks 3 to 4, maybe 3 to 5, where I had a huge hormone crash. And I knew it was hormones because I felt okay in myself, but I could just feel the hormones were driving this car. It was really bizarre. What time is it, by the way? Oh my God, I've been talking for like half an hour already. I need to wrap this up. Yeah, it was really bizarre. I knew it was hormonal and it wasn't me. So yeah, I wouldn't say it was postpartum depression because it lifted, and I could tell, that it was hormonal, and when my hormones went back to normal, it all lifted. But it's really important to keep an eye on these things. Postpartum anxiety, do you know what? I just think it's my general anxiety. I have anxiety, high functioning anxiety, but it's something I've dealt with for many years, so I kind of just live with it anyway. So it's not really postpartum related, it's just me. So yeah, I've definitely been anxious about certain things, but the more it goes on, like I can honestly tell you, if you're in the depths of like the newborn phase and whatever, like it gets easier. Obviously, I'm not talking about mental health, I'm just talking about in general. Like you just feel more confident as you grow to get to know your baby, and you get to know yourself in this new role. And yeah, my anxiety is sort of like dissipating a little bit on a lot of things, just the more and more I do stuff. But yeah, I still definitely get anxious, but it's more kind of just general anxiety rather than postpartum. I was really worried I was going to get postpartum depression, but so far, touch wood, things are okay. I do feel like my hormones are shifting again. I've been getting like awful cramps and stuff, so I think like my menstrual cycle is kicking back into gear, because I've been feeling like the week before my period, and I've been really irritable and ragey and a bit sad actually, but it feels like the week before my period feelings. Do you know what I mean? I just think it's really good to keep an eye on your head, keep an eye on how you're feeling, and constantly keep checking in with yourself. I think that would be my top tip for that. And obviously reach out if you feel like you need to speak to somebody. Okay, right. So there's a few questions about this. For this one, what did you do RE bump reducing after? My mother still has a bump over 30 years later. And there's a couple of people asking about belly bands and stuff, and what did I do to lose the baby weight? This isn't something I really wanted to or like to talk about online, because I don't subscribe to the whole, I just don't subscribe to the whole bounce back culture. I think it's disgusting, honestly, because your body has just been through the most incredible changes. It's grown and created you a human being. And society just makes us feel like we go, oh yeah, that's really great, really cool. So when are you gonna lose 2 stone? What the hell? Honestly, I don't subscribe to it. And honestly, there was a little part of me, and I think I spoke about this in some of my pregnancy vlogs as well, there's a little part of me that was worried, like I didn't know how I was going to feel about my body afterwards, you know, because I've grown up in this diet culture bullshit, and although I've done a lot of hard work to unpick it all, and I feel in a really good place with my body, I was worried that it might sort of creep back in. I couldn't give a shit. I couldn't give a shit. I'm sorry, I couldn't. I flipping love my body, and the respect I have for her has just exploded. It really has. And do you know what? I feel like if I say this, I will probably get some people, because I have already had somebody in my inbox on Instagram go, yeah, but you're I can't remember what exactly the words that they used, but they used the words, it's somewhere in it, yeah, but you're lucky because you don't have stretch marks and you've lost the weight. And I think that's really unfair, because that implies that people who have stretch marks are unlucky, whereas personally, I don't see it that way at all. I love them. I've got loads on my bum, like just from like puberty and stuff. Like literally I've got like, it's like somebody's gone on my bum, and they're all like silvery and they glisten in the sunshine when we're on holiday, and I love them. I really don't understand where this sort of hatred for stretch marks and cellulite and stuff has come from. Obviously because they can make money off us, can't they? But yeah, I just don't get it. And so yeah, even though I don't have any stretch marks, and I don't, because they're 90% hereditary, if you didn't already know that. So don't let any influencers sell you some bollocks cream that costs 70 quid. The majority of stretch marks are hereditary. If you're going to get them, you're going to get them. There's things that you can do to reduce them afterwards, and like reduce the scarring and anything like that. But if you're going to get them, you're going to get them, right? My mum didn't have any, so I was testing that theory. The theory for me has worked. I don't have any. But I do have a whacking great scar across my my pubic area, and I flipping love it. I love it because that's my mark. That's where he came from. I just think it's so cool. And if my tummy did have stretch marks on it, or if it was still like, and my tummy's loose. I don't know if it's helpful to show you. I don't know. Because honestly, my weight has gone back to pre-pregnancy. In fact, I think when they weighed me at some kind of appointment, I was a couple of pounds under what I was before I got pregnant. And I know that that's like a surefire way for people to hate you on the internet by saying, oh, it just fell off, I don't know what to do. But it's true, and it does happen to some people. Their breastfeeding has a lot to do with it. It's not solely it, but you burn a lot of calories, hence the giant lunchboxes I'm eating every day, and the my weight in brownies every day as well. But I'm burning a lot of calories breastfeeding, and yeah, it's just, it's come off. However, my tummy is wobbly. It's wobbly. It just kind of feels, don't know, like I'm grabbing that. There's hardly anything there. I know there's hardly anything there, and it astounds me. It astounds me that that's the case. How did my body stretch so much and there was an actual full-on human in there? And then this is what it looks like now. It's wild, but it just feels empty, like it's proper, like the skin is loose. I'm still wearing my postpartum pants. I'm not letting these bad boys go. They're so flipping comfortable, or they probably need to size down now, but I don't care. I'm wearing granny pants for life. It like there's loose skin, but it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. So yeah, I haven't done anything, if I'm completely honest. We just walk, just for fresh air mostly, and I eat so much food, and it's just happened. I think, do you know what has been my best piece of advice is give your body the rest she flipping deserves. She's done this incredible thing for you. They have done this incredible thing for you. It has done, I don't know, I don't like saying it. I refer to my own body as she, and that's just me talking from my perspective. But yeah, like my body's done so much for me, so I'm just letting her rest. I'm letting her rest and recover, because it takes ages for a body to recover from something like this. And I think it's important to let your body do that. So yeah, sorry, I went off on a bit of a tangent there, but yeah, I haven't done anything. I didn't use any binders. I've never been so in awe of my body while simultaneously not giving a shit about what it looks like. The only thing that annoys me is like none of my clothes fit. And it's mostly because my boobs are bloody massive, because obviously of all my milk, and the rest of me has shrunk. Is that somebody at the door? Hope not. The rest of me shrunk, but my boobs are massive, so my clothes don't really fit the way that they used to. It's like some of the things are quite baggy on me now, and I feel like I'm wearing my dad's clothes, but then I don't want to like buy a load of new ones, because if I stop breastfeeding and I'm still eating these giant lunchboxes, I'm probably going to put on some weight. I don't know. That's one thing I'm really struggling with, is just style. I don't know what to wear, but that's another video. Are you planning on going to any baby classes? Yeah, I went to one the other week, loved it-ish, sort of. I don't know, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So I'm definitely going to go to some more, but I don't think that they're the be all and end all. Go at your own pace. Okay, 2 big questions here. I don't know if we've got time for this. How did you know you were ready to or wanted to have kids? I don't think you truly ever know. No. But we sat down and we were really boring. We just literally made pros and cons lists and really thought about how our life would look with a child, with a baby, with a toddler, with a child, with a teenager, and we considered every aspect of it, financially, emotionally, physically. Are we ready for this? Does it fit into our plan? And really sort of thinking about how our lives will change, and if we're ready for that, if we're okay with that. And we were just really practical, but I don't think you truly know until you have them, and then there's no turning back. So it's a really scary decision. And then the same person has also asked, how did you settle on knowing you are one and done, as mentioned in your recent video? This is something that really interests me. Like, people seem to be, not this person, by the way, but just society in general, seems to be really baffled when you say that you only want one child. They're just like, well, why? Or, oh, you'll change your mind, or when's the next one coming? But we both said it, like, we don't want any more. Like, I love him with every inch of my soul. And I can't explain it. Our family just feels complete. And I loved being pregnant, don't get me wrong. So, like, it's not that I'm like, oh, I never want to do that again. I loved it. Granted, every pregnancy is different. So, the next one could be horrendous. But I feel like I've had that experience. And I'm able to close the chapter on it, and that's one part of my life. And I look back on it with total joy and wonder, but I don't have any inclination to do it again. And with him, everything we go through, I'm like, I'm really soaking it in so much that when he moves on to a new stage, I can, again, close the book on that chapter and be like, that was wonderful, that newborn bubble was wonderful, we did everything we wanted to do, it's perfect. And I don't have any pull to do it again. Yeah, I don't know, I feel like he's my everything. I don't physically feel like I have any more to give. I don't know, people say that like your heart expands when you have another one, but I think I would constantly feel guilty. I already feel guilty that I'm not giving Toby as much attention as I used to. I have 2 children actually, I have the dog and the but I already feel guilty about that. So if I was to have another child as well, that would be even harder. And also, honestly, just the thought of organising 2 different schedules for 2 different humans that are at different stages of their life sets my brain on fire. I already feel like my brain's on fire some days anyway, trying to keep baby alive, trying to keep Toby alive, trying to keep myself alive, and then also remembering I have a husband who I need to spend some time with as well. And then my business too. It's a lot. I don't know how people do it. I just don't know. I think it would probably suck the joy out of it that I feel, because I'd be too overloaded. Also financially as well, babies are expensive as shit. And yeah, I don't know. I'm happy. I feel like we're complete. So yeah, that's how I know. And I'm an only child. I turn out like, and people always say, oh, well, what about when they're older? You know, like when you get old, they're gonna need somebody else to help them out. I'm an only child. I'm doing all right. And I don't feel resentment that I don't have anybody to have to deal with in regards to like sorting things out with my parents and stuff. I don't know, like that kind of stuff I wouldn't have a child just to protect me in the future, if that makes sense. And also there's no guarantee that if you have kids, and that's another thing, because people are like, oh, you know, they're missing out on the sibling experience and all that love. There's no guarantee that those kids are actually going to like each other. There's plenty of siblings who absolutely despise each other and never speak. So, you know, yeah, we're just dumb. And we're really happy about that. Just found out I'm pregnant, congratulations. What the best apps you use, also any YouTube recommendations. Huckleberry app is an absolute godsend. I have done a hashtag ad with them, but we use it from the beginning, and that's why I did the ad, because they were like, hey, have you heard of us? And I'm like, yes, you have saved our lives. It's amazing, because you get asked so many questions. They're like, when did the baby last poop? How many poos are they doing a day? How many wees are they doing? When did they sleep? How long did they feed for? I don't even know my own name at this point, hun. So let me just check the app. Genuinely, it's amazing. We still use it now. We use the sweet spot feature as well, so like we pay for that, and we love it. So Huckleberry for recording everything to do with baby, fab. What else? Oh, the Wonder Weeks. I've downloaded that. I do like it. I dip into it every now and again. My first 5 years, I really enjoyed the free trial of that. But again, it's not something that I've signed up for because I don't know why. I think it's like $5.99 a month and I'm already paying for a few different apps. But I really enjoyed that when I used it. So I was checking my phone to see if that's Grandma and Granddad saying, we're on the way back, and I've pissed away all my time and haven't even had a chance to edit it. Yeah, my first 5 years, I really enjoyed dipping into that. So I think I probably will end up buying a subscription to that at some point. It basically like tells you the skills that they're currently learning at the moment, and you can see them, and it tells you how to encourage those skills and stuff. So it gives you something to do during the day with them, actually. Yeah, do you know what? I should probably sign up for that. I think I will do. I'd say that's it. Huckleberry is the one. Honestly, it's bloody brilliant. It really is. And it's American, so it's like diapers instead of nappies, but you know, you can get over that. And yeah, it's really cute because you can put your baby's name in, and then like when you like log their nappies and stuff, it says the baby's name, but it goes, it's like, baby had a tiny wee, baby had a small poo. Oh, cute. YouTubes as well. Yeah, I don't know. I did Google specific things at the time, like positive C-section stories and stuff, and came across people, but there's no one that I particularly would say that I regularly watch in regards to pregnancy stuff. Your plans for baby photos. It's so hard not to let them just linger on your phone. Yes, I need to make, I did my pregnancy journal And I think I don't think I did the last month, so I need to sit down and finish printing off my bump pictures, because I took one every week and stuck it in and wrote little things. So I made the notes on my phone, but I haven't actually done it in the journal. And then there's a bit at the back of the journal that's like your first photo, your first footprint, all of this kind of stuff. I need to sit down and actually fill that in. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna start printing some out, and like in those photo book things, instead of like printing and sticking albums, because I never get around to it. I still haven't done our wedding ones. So yeah, photo books probably. Okay, last page. Would love to know which maternity nursing clothes you've used most after birth. Okay, these vests from H&M, absolutely amazing. I think I've got some from H&M and some from ASOS. Little maternity nursing tank tops. I live in them. Also, my cake maternity nursing bras, absolutely fantastic. Mamanda as well for some lacier versions. And yeah, before it got really hot, some of my Seraphine jumpers, like the nursing jumpers with the poppers on, was so good. And yeah, my Jojo Mammon jumper, but again, it's like really hot now, so I'm just living in nursing vest tops, and H&M are the ones that I like the most. Tips for saving money whilst on maternity leave. Don't ask me that, sweetheart. I'm terrible. Right. I don't buy myself anything anymore, but I buy him everything. Everything that I see online, I'm just like, we need that. Oh, that's a really cute little outfit. He needs that, yeah. I don't know, pass. Best mummy lunchboxes you've made? Yes, I love the fact that the mummy lunchboxes are taking off. I don't know, I love them all. I did a chicken tikka one actually, literally the other day that I filmed, I just haven't put online yet. That was a good one with like an onion bhaji in it and some like spicy pickle. So good. Recommendations for good soft muslin cloths. I haven't got one with me, but I've sent Grandma and Grandad off with them. Sue and Samuel, I really like them. They've got some beautiful patterns. They're all handmade. So they're a bit more expensive, but they wash really well and they've lasted really well and they're a really good size. And then apart from that, we've just got some Jojo Mammon ones that are great as well, and they've washed really well. A little bit smaller, so it's kind of like handy to have a mix of the two. But yeah, Sue and Samuel are my favourite ones. I've just ordered some more from them actually, but they've got like a 2-3 week turnaround time because they're handmade. So yeah, I don't know when they're arriving. Oh, that'll be a nice surprise because I will have forgotten. The last ones I think I've pretty much covered everything, but last one, have you made any new mum friends and any tips for doing so? I haven't, mostly because I'm very lucky that my best friend has had a baby literally like 2 months apart. So we're going through it together. I feel quite lucky that I have that. So yeah, no, I haven't made any friends yet, but I will go to that baby class again because it wasn't that bad. And we'll see, I don't know, but apparently the Peanut app is really good. I used it a lot to like stalk the forums a little bit when I was pregnant and like ask anonymous questions and stuff. But they have like local groups, so yeah, maybe it's like basically like Tinder, but for but for mum friends. So I haven't actually broached the whole swiping for people and talking to people yet. It terrifies me, but maybe that, I don't know, I'll come back to you on that. Anyway, this is it. It's gonna be the biggest video in the world. I might actually have to split it into two, we'll see. Thank you for listening to my rambles. I'm gonna try and edit this now. Hopefully I can get it done, and yeah, I'm hoping that you're gonna start seeing some videos trickling through. But if you miss me, I am on Instagram pretty much every day, chatting shit on stories. But yeah, this has been really nice. Thank you for watching. If you got this far, please, 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 can you just leave me a comment and just like even if it's just a little heart emoji, just to let me know you got to the end, because that would mean a lot. Because it does sometimes feel like you're just sort of talking into the void, and when you're opening up about such like personal things, it feels a bit weird if no one talks back. So yeah, it'd be really lovely if you would say hi, because I missed you all. Anyway, okay, I'm going. I'm going to go and edit this and finish my sandwich. Oh my God, I still haven't finished the blue sandwich. Right, bye, I'm going. Thanks very much for watching, bye.